Well, well, well. Welcome to week number 8 of Relationship Summer School. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're not going to be prolonged by anything today. We're going to go ahead and get started. So, for those of you that will get a chance to come in, you will enjoy yet another, what I would consider to be another opportunity to expand your understanding of relationships today. So, with that being said, let's get this PowerPoint presentation on the road and be ready to rock and roll. All right, here we go. Oh, wait, let me make sure I'm sharing my screen because you won't be able to understand anything I'm saying. There we go. We're going to go ahead and do that right here. All right. So, starting another one. All right, let's ready to rock and roll here. All right. So here we are, week number 8 of Relationship Summer School with yours truly, Coach Brian. This is going to be the weight of consistency. Last night or last week, we talked about the power of vision. And so, how powerful vision is in the whole scheme of things, and how important it is to have vision as a part of your relationship aspects. But there's something that gives vision an even more powerful frame. And tonight, it is the weight of consistency. Hopefully, you're ready because this is going to be one of the things that you may have never looked at or seen in this particular way before. All right, let's go. Last week, we talked about the power of vision, but vision is connected to something very simple, yet it's overlooked. You can have vision, but vision needs something in order for it to be effective. Effective vision comes from this particular area. Many people can have a vision, but if you don't have what I'm getting ready to say next, you are going to find yourself with limited vision. Because the more you have of this concept, the more that you will be able to say that the vision has weight. Consistency is a pathway to great growth in a relationship. Now, let's define what consistency really means. Consistency is behavior or actions that indicate loyalty or devotion to a particular purpose or function. I'll say it again. Consistency is behavior or actions that indicate loyalty or devotion to a particular purpose or function. This means that whatever it is that you're doing needs to be devoted to some type of purpose. It doesn't need to be something that you're doing simply because it's a hobby, because something can be a hobby, yet it not be intentional. Something can be easily done, yet it is only a habit. But it is a behavior or action that is related to something that is very specific. Consistency is what helps professional athletes develop into being the winners that they are. If they aren't consistent, then they won't help their team. And when you're not able to help your team, you won't be able to win championships. And that's one of the things that I, as a coach, thrive on, getting you to a level of consistency where you will begin to understand the championship mentality that is necessary for a relationship to grow at its greatest capacity, at its greatest thought process, for it to grow without any resistance, without um, anything standing in the way. You want to have it where you understand that it's going to be continual, but it's got to be a purpose behind it. Many people are consistent or show consistency to get to something, but not for something. You can't be consistent to get to something, yet not maintain it when that something is established. And so you've got to go beyond just getting something. You have to go beyond just having something. You have to go to how do I maintain what I have in order to grow in this particular area. And relationships, the bread and the butter of relationships are built from consistency. Without consistency, you will not find clarity in the relationship that is building on a direction it is headed. If there's no consistency, you have nothing to look forward to. You have nothing to build upon. All you're doing is you're having a cycle of moments that don't build towards what the relationship is really supposed to be. And so you're wondering and saying to yourself, why is the relationship not going the way that it should? Maybe ask yourself, is there something that we haven't dealt with in the relationship that is leading us down a path of wondering where it's headed or what direction? Do we know what direction? Because if you don't know what direction the relationship is headed, if it doesn't have an understanding of a vision, then you're just doing it just to do it. But it's got to be related to a vision. Consistency is a measure of the dedication that is needed for the relationship to work. Consistency is dedication. If you don't dedicate to the path of where you're going, you will find yourself wondering why a relationship is going in the direction that it is going. This is why, if you ever get into a relationship with someone and they're not a man or woman of their word, you're going to be wondering where it's headed. Because if they keep a promise here, but they don't keep a promise here, then that means that I can't really count on them. And in a relationship, you have to be able to count on the person that you are in a relationship with. This means what they give to you and what they say to you has to be backed up by the actions. It measures the actions. It's the measure of dedication. It is what is needed for that relationship to be viable. Many individuals want to get to the results of consistency, but don't want to put in the work that builds consistency. And that's where a lot of frustration in relationships are. They don't want to put in the necessary steps to work through everything that consistency is going to build. It is going to cause you to build time. It's going to cause you to build understanding. It's going to cause you to understand the the direction of where it's really headed. And you've got to know, because if you don't know, you're going to be wondering what's next. When there is inconsistency, assumptions can be birthed. The relationship will become imbalanced. This will lead to your partner not being able to truly learn who you are. When you are inconsistent, it brings an imbalance to what the relationship could be. So therefore, you are wondering again, what is this relationship going to be? If I don't have the consistency that I need in the relationship, then it's going to be an imbalance. The balance is not going to be there. You're going to be wondering again, am I going to get the energy and the effort from them that I therefore am giving? Am I going to get that energy? Because if you don't get that energy that you're giving out, you're eventually going to get burnt out. And you may end up searching for it in another. When there is inconsistency, assumptions, you start to assume that things are going to be a certain way. And assumptions bring an imbalance to relationship. When there are assumptions, you're not learning, you're guessing, you're holding up to a standard that does not have weight. Consistency is a standard that you must put in place in order for the relationship to have a level of balance. This is going to lead your partner, your significant other, your fiance, even your wife or husband, not to trust in the actions that you take. Now, does this mean that there won't be times that things happen that cause inconsistency? No, because inconsistency is not caused by things that happen. They're caused by decisions that are made. The decisions that are made are what determine whether a person is consistent or not. So, if inconsistency is in your relationship, if you're getting to a glass ceiling and you can't break through, ask yourself, where have we been inconsistent? Or who's been inconsistent? Or have we both been inconsistent? Consistency is the key to any relationship growth. That's a typo. It cannot depend on just one person, but it requires both individuals. You by yourself cannot, didn't mean to do that. Let me go back. You by yourself cannot do it all. There will be times that you may end up doing more in a relationship at certain points in times, because we all have moments where we will have times and things we need to work on. This doesn't mean that this is necessarily the end of something. It may just be a lesson. It's teaching us something. But consistently, there is going to have to be some growth. And it can't just depend on the man. It can't just depend on the woman. It has to be both individuals. It takes consistent effort, because a relationship is a team of two consistent individuals who are working towards the same task, working towards the same goal. We want to be together for the long haul. We want to walk down the road for the long haul. We don't want to be just together because it's available, but we want to be together for the purpose of producing a relationship that is going to be fruitful. If a relationship is to be fruitful, there must be growth. And a key to growth is in consistency. Consistency of two people, your team. Sometimes you will end up doing more. Sometimes you may end up doing less. Sometimes you will have moments where the other person may end up doing a little bit more. You may have times where you may end up doing a little bit more. But if you are consistent, you will win. What does consistency really do for a relationship? I'm so glad you asked. It brings unity. Unified means qualified. If you are unified, you will always qualify for success. Without unity, I cannot produce the results that I need. I, by myself, am not capable of doing certain things. But if I'm unified with another, we will establish a great legacy. We will establish a great place. We will establish great things. We will establish who we are when we're unified. It reestablishes the purpose of the relationship. It lets you know why you do it. You don't just do it just because you're doing it, but you're doing it because of the purpose behind and beyond the relationship. The purpose of a relationship needs to be reestablished. It needs to be reestablished because sometimes we can get lost in the moment. Sometimes we get lost in the places. Sometimes we get lost in the functioning of life, and the relationship can just become something that we pick up. But when you're consistent, it establishes the purpose of the relationship, of why you did it. Last, it kills unnecessary expectations. There are expectations that come from the relationships that are unnecessary. But those unnecessary expectations, they cannot be used if there is consistency that you have. Now, there are different types of consistency. There is progressive consistency. There is inconsistent consistency. There is gradual consistency. Gradual and progressive are two different things. Progressive means that it's already moving forward. Gradual means that it's getting there at a pace. Progressive is already in motion. Gradual meaning that it's little, then it's medium, then it's above average, and then it's extraordinary. Most individuals deal with either the inconsistent consistency or the gradual consistency. The progressive consistency is when you've already got things in place and you've seen a level of success and you just progress forward to different places in the functioning of the relationship. But expectations are something that come with the territory. But there are some expectations that are unnecessary. And this is what consistency does. It kills the birth of expectations. It puts an end to it. And it brings life to it. Brings a lively place to it. Gives it something that's worth looking at a little deeper. Are the expectations that you have had in previous relationships, are they unnecessary? Were they unnecessary? Something to think about. Consistency is very easy to begin, but very hard to maintain once it's a part of commitment. Commitment is something that requires, in essence, an everyday energy. When you're committed to something, you have to learn about the history of it. You have to learn the purpose behind why you do it. You have to understand what it's going to be, even when it's most difficult. Consistency at the beginning of a commitment is very easy. The first week, the first 2 weeks, first month, 3 months, even up to a year. But in the process of that consistency, you have to learn that it's going to take more than just starting a commitment. In the process, you're going to have to get uncomfortable with something that is going to require you to make constant changes and constant understanding of the belief system. True consistency is not a routine, but is an aspect of intentionality in relationships. Consistency is not a routine. Consistency is an action of intentionality. I can get up and go to the gym at 6 a.m. every single morning. That can be the routine. But the consistency behind it is making sure that I build certain muscles. The routine is basically what you schedule, but the intentionality is where you're going. Most will have a routine, but the aspect of intentionality in a relationship is key. Most people don't want a relationship, they want a routine. They want something consistently given to them without it meaning anything. But consistency is for a common goal. Where you find where a lot of relationships are failing is people, they want something. They want something constantly. But they don't want the reason for it. Why are you asking for it? Why should you have it? Why do you feel that way? Feelings should always be related to source. If you have feelings and you don't have a source, you will have an expectation. An expectation without purpose leads to disappointment. Disappointment is the beginning of frustration. Frustration is the beginning of irrationality. Irrationality is the beginning of bad decisions, all from a lack of consistency. If you plan on being in a fruitful relationship, you must master consistency well before committing to someone else. What is it that will permit you to be consistent before you get into the relationship? Because what a relationship will do is that relationship, it will expose whatever areas that you're not consistent in. And there's nothing that you will be able to do except accept what has been done, what has been built, what has grown, and choose to either be better or choose to commit to better or choose to make excuses. If you do not master consistency well, especially in the area of communication, you're not ready for commitment. You're not ready for a relationship. because relationship requires different tiers and facets of communication. You must communicate at a level that is clear to your intentions. You must communicate well. Communicating well is a process of consistency. Communicate well, and you will see results. Don't communicate, and you will see your commitment fall apart. If you want there to be fruitful, which means ever producing fruit, you must master consistency well before committing to someone else. Why is consistency important? It reveals part of your character. It reveals what people can get from you. If you're consistently telling the truth, people will be able to really understand who you are. They will know what to expect. They will know what to handle concerning you. Consistency reveals your character. One thing that people can expect out of Coach Brian is you can expect a analysis that dives in deep onto why you do some of the decisions that you do. You can expect integrity. You can expect an understanding of greater things to come. Your character reveals through consistency. Number two, it indicates where your vision really is. If you want to examine where a vision is, examine your consistency. If I am not consistent, I won't find myself worthy of the cause of where I'm headed. What is your vision? Where is your vision really? It is determined by your consistency. It is. If you're not consistent, your vision may either, number one, be missing something, or number two, it may not be in depth. Your vision will cause you to consistently be searching for how it can become better. Now, there'll be some parts of your vision, you already have what it takes. You just have to walk it out. But consistency tells you where you are in your vision. Number three, it determines your future. Without consistency, you will be in a consistent cycles that will not end, that will produce results that you don't like. One of the things that I had to do during a particular point in time in my life was I had to be consistent to things that were going to cost me something. Consistency costs. It costs you time. It costs you friends. It may even cost you relevance. If you're consistent in something, you don't care about being relevant. You just desire to be better. And in a relationship, if you're consistent, eventually the future of that relationship will be revealed sooner. Number four, it affects your worth. If you are not consistent, your worth cannot be established. You cannot put money into an account today and expect to save thousands of dollars tomorrow. The worth of that is built off of putting in consistently. There are people that they desire to have a great relationship, but they're not willing to put in the work consistently. They think their relationship is worth what I can get for them today, what I can do for them right now, what I can do for them because it's available. But your worth is determined on how, again, you handle these moments here. Because you can't go to a doctor after years and years of eating bad and say to the doctor, I need you to fix this problem. You can't fix overnight bad habits that were developed over the years. A woman cannot change her behavior and her worth after making bad decisions overnight. Can't do it. Now, if you're consistent, it will seem like overnight, but you cannot change things overnight. Consistency is something that you don't build overnight. You build it over time. Anything that is done overnight was either something that was already planted or it was something that had already been blossoming, just wasn't seen. Consistency builds your worth. What is it that you're worth? And how are you willing to build it? How are you willing to take it to the next level? That is a question that only you can answer. Well, we have 2 more weeks left. If you have enjoyed this so far, I want to tell you that a new session is coming beginning in the fall. October, part 2 of relationship course. We're not going to call it summer because we'll be in fall. So, relationship fall course is going to come. And the way it's going to be set up is that it's going to be not consecutive weeks, but it's going to be 2 weeks out of every month until next year. So we're going to be doing 2 weeks in October, 2 weeks in November, 2 weeks in December. It's going to be 6 weeks. 6 weeks of an intense time frame. And guess what? It's going to be on Monday. So Monday, we are going to be Monday, October. I'm going to give you guys the dates so you can see it for yourself. So Monday, October 17th, and Monday, October 24th will be the first 2 sessions. The next sessions will be November 14th and November 21st. And then the next sessions will be December 19th and December 26th. Relationship fall class, 6 weeks. Now, I'm going to make this one even more affordable. So, we spent $197 for this course. This one is going to be $75. $75 gets you in the door for all of the classes. $75. That's it. I'm going to make it affordable. And I know this is around the time that everybody's getting ready for Christmas holidays, different things like that. So we will dive into relationship fall course very soon. And I'm excited. I'm going to dive into some very controversial topics. So hopefully everyone is ready. Anyway, we're going to get out of here. Coach BT is getting ready to go. And he's getting ready to go and get ready for IG Live. Let me turn this